So, was it a couple weeks ago?
About a week, maybe.
A week? Okay. Eric Aldridge is our new magistrate in District 5. I just know it's our area. And I see his Facebook feed. He has 9 children. They're homeschooling. So I have a vibe that Eric loves the Lord. Why would you take 9 kids, homeschool, go out to John Alford Dead End Road? I just have this feeling, this feeling this man and woman want to stand for the Lord, and they're doing it, and they're doing it big. That's pretty powerful.
That is.
And I have learned along the way that he owns, I never say this word right, the Granite store that's out there by the Humane Society. And so there, it's expensive stone. It's expensive to have it. I would love to have those kind of countertops, but whatever. Anyway, so 4th of July came, and the fireworks on John Alford Road are very powerful. The McNeelys set those off. They use high explosives. I used to work with Dana, this Mr. McNeely's wife, and I know they put on quite the show. Anyways, and Aldridge's little 8-month, I think, puppy, it's the 5-year-old's Christmas gift, ran off during that event, and it tore the little girl up, and of course that tore the family up, and they were very distraught, and the little dog was gone, not to be found. And the following day, on the 5th, Ellen Aldridge was driving Whippoorwill Trail, and the window was down, and I don't know her. I don't know what they drive, but this vehicle was going down the road, and I was outside in my pajamas with this dog I'm doing respite care with, and I hear this all down the road, the windows down, and I can't see if it's a man or a woman. I just hear this noise, and it goes down, and it comes back real slow. And I thought, what is going on? And I come in and tell Todd, and he said, I think it's Eric Aldridge's wife. They're looking for their dog, Teddy. So I get online and look, and I start grieving. I just start this grieve. It comes over myself. And it's like, what is with me? Like, I'm grieving on things, and it's like, all of a sudden I'm grieving. And it came to me again the next day. This grief came back over me when I read another feed where, if you see it, please get in touch with us. So I opened my mouth, because I shared with you last Sunday that when you open your mouth and you give words with your voice to praying, like I walk, I used to think prayer was a formal thing, but prayer is actually just walking with the Lord, like, God, my feet hurt. Lord, will you just give me the strength to get this endeavor done? Uh, or, Lord, thank you for that. That was beautiful. That's a prayer. That is, and it's so pretty. Whenever the Lord showed me that's what it was, and it wasn't really formal. And then when He gave me the understanding like this, I went to the back door, was looking out at the yard. Todd just keeps it really pretty out there. And I'm looking out that back glass door, and I'm looking up at the clouds, and I'm thinking about her and this little girl and this family and this vibe of they must love you, Lord. And all of a sudden, as I'm praying, I think I'm going to pray that they get Teddy back, because that's just natural to pray that people get back what they want. They're hurting for their little girl. But the prayer didn't come out of my mouth like that. The prayer came out of my mouth as, God, would you please give your people a miracle? Would you give them a miracle? And would you make it where they have a testimony and they have to tell them what you did? And that's what came out of me. And it was just like, I didn't plan that. But when my voice went there and the grieving matched, when they meshed together, I prayed that God would open the world for this family and give them a testimony. Well, Todd had come in right before that and said he heard an odd noise down that canyon embankment, and it sounded like a oof. So he contacted Eric Aldridge through Facebook Messenger and said, hey, you might want to check this out. This is an unusual noise. So I pray this prayer. Ryan, who never texts me, rarely ever, shoots me shoots me this message. All this is about the same time. I say the prayer. Todd's heard oof. Ryan sends me a message, and we're supposed to have we're supposed to get together and go out. And I think now it's Bobby, Robert, Mackenzie. We're all going out one day together, and we're going to go have some fun together. And he says, hey, I hadn't forgot you. And it's going to happen. I'm reading you sent me. And he sends a screenshot. I don't know how long ago I gave you that book.
I'd say 7 years ago, 5, 6.
The book is called The 70 Miracles of Richard Harvey. And he sends me the screenshot. So this book was a game changer for me. And when I have game changers, I give them to anybody and everybody. I order all I can. And so I didn't even realize I'd given him that book. But he was an evangelist who traveled the world. And Richard is deceased now. And Richard's children said, would you please write down these miracles that we know about, Daddy? Would you write these miracles so that we'll have them when you're gone? And he said, well, it's my 70th birthday. I read on him and said something like, it's my 70th birthday, so I'll give you 70 miracles. And they're powerful. See the screen? I change my clothes. I get myself where I can go outside. I walk out, and there is Eric Aldridge and his 18-year-old daughter holding Teddy. And I look, but see, I'm looking at spiritual eyes. I'm not going, oh, there's Teddy. I'm looking at spiritual eyes at the miracle. And I mean, the dog had been gone 3 days, and there's Cody's always back there. And so as I'm standing there and I'm looking, all of a sudden, like on instinct, I look at him. We have never formally met, and I start bawling. So what an introduction to Eric Aldridge and his family. I'm bawling. And he just said that he walked down the field and down to the side of the embankment, and his 18-year-old daughter called out Teddy, and then Teddy went woof woof, and then he keeps walking the embankment, and when Teddy sees he can get up this certain grade, Teddy comes up the grade. But I said to Eric, Eric, I prayed God would give you a miracle. And I said, this has just blessed me. And I'm sorry, I can't quit crying. And I said, but that's what I see. And I said, where do you go to church? I'm just curious. And he said, something vineyard. Something vineyard. He told me what street. And when he said it, it was like my head did a whoop. And I said, you go to church with Janet Miller? And he said, yes, ma'am, I do. And I said, well, Janet Miller was the manager at the Family Christian Bookstore when I used to go there and avidly search for a Bible that would, I was 32 when the Lord brought me out of darkness into his marvelous light. And I spent a lot of time there. And Janet helped me get the materials I needed to feed me. The Lord put her in my path. And he said, well, Janet is like the one that was at our house when the dog ran off. Wow. So I was just like, oh my goodness. So it was really beautiful. I just wanted to tell you because that was very intimate. That was an intimate thing the Lord showed me by Ryan sending that screenshot, me giving words to ask God to bless somebody, but it wasn't to bring back the dog. It was to give them a miracle. Yeah. And he said, that's what we prayed for last night, to give our daughter a miracle. Wow. To help build her faith. So as she grows older, she'll have this in her bank. So isn't that beautiful? I was just like, oh, that was so gorgeous. But anyway, so we all have it. We all have it.